Let me tell you how I met Arjan 2 years ago when I visited the HQ in Essen together with my team, and we had a lengthy discussion about our product. But after that, we had a one-on-one with Arjan, and he got to ask me questions about the finances of the company, the motivation, the strategy, the boardroom relationships. So I didn't expect it, but now I have the opportunity to be the one asking the questions, and I'm thankful for Arjan to be so brave, and yeah, thank you, Arjan, for coming up, and please welcome to the stage to have this discussion together. So Arjan, you have quite ambitious plans with E.ON Drive to install, as I know, 1,000 high-power charging stations every year.
At least.
You're now at 7,500.
They're all in your system, you should know, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we are counting them, trust me. I mean, it's something that we keep a very close eye on, but it's a market that's kind of getting crowded, isn't it? How are you differentiating, and what's the strategy of EDRI in this space?
Yeah, it's not only getting crowded, it's overbuilding sometimes. So you're very right, and that means it's not enough anymore to have a lot of charge points. You need to have them at the right locations. So you need to be there where the customer is. We very much believe at that. As we say, we integrate charging in your life. You charge when you go to the store. You charge when you go to a hotel. You charge when you go to the hospital. There, where you are, the charging should be. The second thing is the customer experience. The customer experience needs to be seamless. Whether you're paying with credit card, whether you're paying with the EMP card, it needs to work from beginning to end. And that's why we're consistently working on having first-time right connections, having connectivity at the highest possible level, and making sure that for the customer it's as seamless as it can be. And I think for us the third element is, and you're part of that, is find the right partners. As a CPO, you cannot do it by yourself. We have in 10 countries 160 people. That sounds like a lot, but if you divide it over 10 countries and you have a central team, then it means that you have between 5 and 15 people in a country, and they need to do everything. Yeah? So they need to close the contracts, they need to build the sites, they need to operate the sites. That means you need to work with great partners who make you stronger. And finding the right partners to do your job, like you guys, with the CPMS system, but not only on the IT side, also on the services side, on the building side. If you hand over a turnkey project, you need to know it goes to the best possible partner to build it.
You're running a network in 11 countries. I just had a conversation today with someone that says, well, yeah, but you're not so visible in Germany. Why? What's behind the strategy of going pan-European with all these different markets versus concentrating in one market and pushing through there?
Yeah, it depends on what you believe the end game will be. Do you think the end game will be that it's important that you offer, for instance, to EMSPs or partners or fleets, a pan-European network? And we believe in that. But it requires, however, that you have a strong position in every country where you are in. Because in the end, I believe that only the top 3 to 5 CPOs in a country will earn money. So that means that you need to work very hard to get to that position. And that also means that you might have to make changes to your portfolio if you're not able to realize that in one country, maybe be in another country. So either way you do it, scale is important. It's a scale game. In the end, we have in our central team about 60 people who do everything from product management, procurement, finance, HR. Whether I manage 7,500 charge points or 70,500 charge points with these 60 people centrally, it doesn't matter to me. That's the way it's set up, it's scalable. And that's a very important element for us. So in our strategy, on the one hand, it's size, being in the right countries, also having a mix of mature countries and emerging countries helps us in finding the right pace of building out.
And when you think about your customer, is a big percentage of your customer base ones that would travel and charge cross countries, or how do you look at this, and how do you handle these customers traveling, charging on in different parts of your network? Is there any difference for the customer? Do they get the same user experience? Do you try to make it the same? I mean, what's your view there?
We try to standardize as much as possible our product, our sites, site designs, to make it a recognizable customer experience, whether you charge in Germany or in Denmark or in Poland. So the customer experience is the same, and the way we set up our hardware and our software, it's all scalable. That means it's standardized, and it's the same for the customer. So it cannot be for a customer that you have a different experience when you. The only thing that changes sometimes is the regulation. So what type of invoice is you know all about that.
Yeah, I know about it.
What type of invoice is a customer, the way the fiscalization works in the country, it's different. So you need to adhere to local regulations, of course, but you can only scale if you standardize. And that's an important element.
I get to see some of part of your presentation on the main stage today, and you were talking about truck charging, but I read on an interview you gave where you said as a child you wanted to be a truck driver. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. It's, every child has dreams. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I even got my truck driver's license when I was 18, and my dad had a gardening company, and I would drive the trucks of the gardening company around.
And now trucks get to be electric, which is great. Yeah. And that's a very hot topic, so to say. I mean, we're talking about truck charging, but tell me about the complexity of offering charging to, I don't know, the 18 meter long vehicles. What's different than what you have been doing so far in public infrastructure? Yeah. And how do you handle this? Do you do it on all sites or select sites, through partnerships? How do you do this?
Yeah, very, very good question, very long answer, so I try to summarize it a bit. So, first of all, let me name three things. First of all, it's the site and the location and the size. You already said 80 meter, turning curves, you need a lot of space for trucks. So you need to make sure that it's safe, that they can make the turns, that they can, you need a big site for that. And finding those is not easy, especially if you look along the roads where especially in Germany, the parking spaces for trucks are very full. So how are you going to find a space for that? That's one thing. Second thing is, it's an easy one, but you need very high power. So you need a high grid connection, and that's in a lot of countries in Europe not so easy to get at the location where you want it to be. And the third thing is, you need that grid connection and that site and that charger to be available when the company needs it. So if you're in your private car and you're driving around, and you find the charger and it's occupied, you drive to the next one. If you're a truck driver, you have 45 minutes on the clock to make your break. So the charger needs to be available in those 45 minutes, otherwise you have a problem because you don't have the time to drive to the next charger. So this availability, made possible by a reservation system, is another element that is very important for the transport companies. And of course, for the transport companies, every euro counts, so cost is also a big element.
And I mean, part of your presentation, something that I noticed there was, you're talking about lanes now. I mean, not even charging spot or parking spaces. So it's an entirely different way of thinking about how you service this kind of vehicles, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, we prefer, we call it a drive-through solution. So where there's an island where the charger is on and the truck can drive by it. And you can even work with a barrier to block it if you have a reservation system. And it's big enough for the truck to make the turn in and out, and for the driver to get out and directly connect to the charger, depending on the charge boxes, left or right of the truck.
You mentioned barriers, and I have had conversations today with companies who are looking at the depots of logistics companies being opened up to others so that they can charge. What's your strategy on site selection and how you're building up this part of the network? Are you doing this on the same sites I know you're doing this partnership with MAN.
Yep.
Is it going to be a model that you're going to replicate? And generally, what do you think about these depot sharing specifically for heavy-duty vehicles?
I think in the end it will be as with the passenger cars. So you need to be there where the customer is. So you need to be there where the transport company is and when the truck is standing still. And that can be at a depot, that can be at a harbor, that can be at a train station where they load the trucks on the train. It can be on the highway where they have a break, or overnight charging, parking spaces. In the end, it's going to be all of the above. The trucking companies are going to need all these types of solutions to eventually come to the fingerprint that is specifically fitted to their needs. And I can only deliver part of those solutions. But for instance, depot charging, we're working already with transport companies who have a similar offer and say, okay, you could use part of our charging capacity because we only charge overnight, and during the day it's available. How can we do that? And then there are solutions for that possible, but it's not easy because usually the overnight charging is front parking, which is not easy with a trailer, as you might know. So plus you have to have organized the entrance. There needs to be toilets for the drivers. So there are a lot of questions that need to be answered. But I think in the end, all those types of charging possibilities, overnight charging, en route charging, depot charging, are going to be necessary to solve the problem of electrical trucks.
And if I can circle back to the truck charging though, I mean, are we really ready on the vehicle side? I mean, is this like long haul, like longer destinations, like 1-2 charging stops, or is this still kind of limited? And how does this influence what locations you're looking for and choosing, and how do you think about building up the network to serve the use case of today? And when I say today, is what's on the market and is going on the market now versus what you expect would be the vehicle of the heavy-duty vehicle that's going to be there in 5, 7, 10 years?
Yeah, it's a good question. If you look at what is already cost-effective right now for the transport companies, it's especially the mid-sized trucks who drive consistently the same routes, 200-300 kilometers a day, and you can quite easily organize that and organize charging capabilities for that. So we're looking at those, and we're looking at long haul, but long haul is a little bit of a longer game because that will need MCS charging, so high power charging, megawatt charging, and we all know that this is still in development. So you can talk to a lot of the charger companies here. They will all tell you that they're ready, but they're not. So they're still piloting and testing, and nobody's in series production yet. So let's not kid ourselves. There will be projects out there next year, but you will not see a big ramp up of MCS already next year. So that will take more time. On the other hand, if we wait now and don't start looking for sites, somebody else will find those sites. So I also need to be out there scouting for future MCS sites.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting point you bring up, and leads to my next question, and away from trucks generally. But I mean, it's when you think about competition, this year we saw an alliance being formed between 3 public charging networks. And what's your view on that? I mean, how do you see the future of collaboration and competition between the larger public charging networks, and where do you stand in this world?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very interesting development, and it can be helpful for CPOs to work together. I think in this case it makes it quite easy for them to avoid roaming fees, which is a benefit for them. In the end, they cannot align the prices. AFIR doesn't allow it, so they need to be very careful not to overplay their hand when it comes to market power. But they try to create loyalty within the SparkNet Alliance network, and the future will tell whether that will work. It is definitely something that CPOs need to work on, how to create stickiness with their customers. And can they also do that without an MSP? And that is what they're trying to do in the Spark Alliance. And the future will tell whether they're going to be successful. I still think the basis is that you have a strong position with your network in an individual country as CPO, because then you are an obvious partner for fleet owners, for MSPs, because you can offer countrywide charging opportunities, and that's what we are after.
You mentioned roaming fees, and generally topic of pricing, it's something else that's been brought up during the conference, but in general it's topic, I think, even more in Germany than other places, but I mean, we are in Germany, so yeah. What's your policy with regards to pricing, and what's your view on what goes into the price, and what are the acceptable, I would say, or expected levels of difference that an EV driver should expect, and where does it come from?
Well, very difficult question. So what we know.
Sorry about that, but I mean that's what we want to ask. And I
Yeah,
promised
yeah,
you
yeah.
that they wouldn't be easy ones.
Very nice at the end of the day, Orlin. I understand. So, I mean, if we look at the gas station market, people find it very normal that you pay more money for gas at the highway than that you do in your village, right? So, but if there is a price difference, there needs to be a reason for it. And I think that is what we will see more going forward. Right now, the differentiation is between charging speeds. I think it will go more to dynamic pricing models, and it will go more to models where the pricing is also use case dependent. And charging on the highway, the rent we have to pay for a site on the highway is much higher than the rent that I pay for a small site in a village. And so I need to earn that money back somehow. So it is logical that you pay more if you're charging on the highway than if you're charging off a highway at a retail site, for instance. But I hope that we can find pricing models, and that is what we're trying to do. And we have been building the pricing engine together with you. Is that we build pricing models that are really transparent and easy to understand for the customer, either with prescription models or with models where the customers benefit, for instance, when there's a lot of green energy on the grid. We've been testing that in Copenhagen, and I really believe in that there are moments during the day when there's a lot of sunshine, a lot of wind, there's a lot of capacity on the grid, and the prices on the spot market are very low. Then our customers should benefit from that.
Yeah.
So let's find models to do that. And then a customer, I think, has more understanding for why a price is what there is. And right now, I think, other than being transparent, it's not always clear for the customer why he or she pays what he or she pays.
You mentioned being transparent, but also visible. I like on pictures, because I haven't had the opportunity yet to charge on one of your sites where you have the pricing displayed on a totem, and it's clear even when you're driving up what the price is going to be that you're paying, but also how many of the charging spots are available. Tell me about this. How much of this is we want to achieve a better user experience? What drives the decision? Do we do this this kind of signage integration? And what technology goes into that? Because I know that our CPMS, for example, doesn't give you the information about the parking space availability, but you had to somehow get it and be able to show it there.
Yeah. Well, actually, our lead of customer experience, Anders, is here, so he can tell you much more about it. But we talk a lot to customers, and one of the pain points of our customers is lack of transparency of prices. So they come to a charger, they pull out their credit card, and they need to search in the menus of the charger and see if they can find somewhere what the direct payment price is. I think if you go to a gas station, the price is very clearly in view. So why not do that on chargers as well? So it was a pain point for our customer. It is a pain point for our customers. So we want to create this transparency. That's why we made on our roofs and on our T-poles a clear price signage. And we thought, okay, when we have that display anyway, why not also show immediately that the customer can see how many charge points are still available? Because you know how it is sometimes. You drive on a parking space and you know that there are charges, but you cannot immediately see whether if there's a place still available. You drive on there, there's no place available, you need to drive backwards. So not convenient, not a customer experience. So what we did is we said, okay, we can use the AMPECO information whether a car is charging, yes or no, but it could also be that the car stopped charging but is still standing there. So what we did is we're using parking sensors, very simple sensors that are very robust, that we put in the pavement under the car, so that the sensor sees whether a car is standing on a parking space, and with that information, also connecting it to your system, we can inform the customer very clearly whether a space is available, yes or no.
And you are also doing this also to the EMSP, so it's not only about the signage. The EMSPs also get this information. If a parking spot is blocked, even though that it's not charging, they're getting actually the status as occupied, right?
Yeah, and we know every EV driver knows that experience. You're driving to an EV charger, and there's an ICE car standing there. Somebody who's not a driving electric thought, oh, that's a nice parking space, I put my car there. It's very annoying for a customer if you think you have a free space because nobody's charging and the car is occupying the space. So this way we can share that information as well.
And this is, I think, a good example of how the user experience, while you are in control of it, you are not the only party involved to achieve good user experience. But you can do your part, you can relay this information to the EMSP. Ideally, the EMSP is doing their part so that the user gets the best possible user experience.
Absolutely, yeah.
Listen, I think we had a wonderful conversation, and I'm very thankful for your insights. But let's see what questions our audience might have before we wrap it up.
Oh, yeah.
Hey guys?
Everyone wants to go to the bar now, so.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a question about where the bar is, we can ask this after off the stage, and we can guide you to it. I'm sure we will.
Follow Orlin. That's yeah.
Thank you for the talk. I saw, at least in Romania, that you introduced ad hoc payments. So I'm curious about how you saw that process. I guess you implemented with AMPECO, but I think you are one of the few that went on this bus. I know now everybody is forced to do it with AFIR, but I'm curious what the numbers are, like how the customers saw this. I saw that on Facebook you are actually promoting this on new locations as a selling point.
You're very good informed, yeah.
And I can guess that it was a real pain point for the users. And us as users, we also stay 15 minutes installing an app and trying to log in, being logged out and so on. So I'm curious how big of a problem this is. You mentioned many problems for your customers. But was this one of the biggest one, and is it solved now with the QR codes that you are offering? And is it also tied to the POS? Because I think the AFIR was a little bit unclear about if ad hoc payments means only POS or QR code is enough in this case. Thank you.
It depends on the size of the charger, whether a QR code is sufficient or whether you need to have a payment terminal. So yeah, I think it's a 50 kW, I think. But it's yeah, that's the advantage if you're a big CPO and if you can scale solutions that you use in countries to other countries as well. So we simply rolled out our payment solution that we have on our chargers to the Romanian chargers as well. The amount of direct payment is not very high in Romania yet, so it's 10-50% only, but it's growing actually, so that's good to see. There were a lot of problems in Romania with fraud with EMSPs, so it's when it comes to payment and chargers, we were also a little bit extra careful, making sure that we have done everything we can to make it as transparent and easy for the customer. I think what we see in Romania is that this solution, since not everyone has implemented, is really also valued by customers. Because in my opinion, as a customer, the only thing is that we don't accept cash, but otherwise we should have all the types of payment that you have. So whether it's your Apple Pay watch or you should be able to use anything that you have. Otherwise, we're not doing a good job, because why make it difficult for you to pay? So that's why for us the AFIR regulation was a no-brainer, because we wanted to do that anyway. Make it simple for our customers to pay, also in Romania.
Well, okay, that's a good example of where regulation actually helps the user experience, and let's hope that that's usually the case, and regulations do improve user experience rather than hinder it. I don't know if you have any other questions from the audience. Just one more, and then we wrap it up.
Arjan, we hear that location strategy is very key in identifying profitable sites. So what is the key consideration? Is it grid connection, or how good are your modeling calculations on how profitable a site can be? Yeah.
I can tell you that the models we use have many factors in it. So I can not tell you how much, but it's really, we're looking at traffic flows, parking space sizes, competition in the neighborhoods, grid connection, So there are many, many factors that we take into account when we assess a site and what makes a site attractive or not. Are we always right? No. We have sites where we thought, oh, this is going to be a blast, and half a year later we're still waiting for the utilization to pick up. So sometimes we're wrong as well, but we're learning, and it's. I think by now we know pretty much what sites are going to be successful and also how to size a site. So how many charge points is a good size for this parking lot, for this retail park, what makes sense, how much competition is around, what size of chargers do they have, is anyone planning to build out in the neighborhood, do we know that? And if you bring that all together, I think by now we are pretty good, but the algorithms and the Excels behind it are quite complex, I can tell you. Yeah. There's a lot of factors going in.
Amazing, Arjan. Thank you so much for being so generous with us with your time and insights. It's been very insightful.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.